I hate asking for help. Throughout the course of my short life, my parents have always been mostly hands-off. As long as I was a successful, obedient child, I was ironically given the freedom to do basically whatever. I never really spent much time with others outside of school and mandatory extracurricular activities. At younger ages, I preferred to stay at home and playing by myself rather than with other people. From about 3rd to 6th grade, much of the actual social interaction I received took place within online games and not always with real-life friends. I remember there was a time when some of my best friends were people I didn't even know. And I felt at peace within this online community that was so much simpler to navigate through than the real world. It had a lot to do with my inability to get places, because at the time my parents were often working and my sister would be busy, leaving me at home at the house alone. It got to a point at which, even if they were home, I didn't really interact with them much. In fact, I have a hard time actually remembering what my sister was even like at the time. I was completely absorbed in my own cyber world, oblivious to the things around me. This sort of interaction with other people, or the lack thereof, left me with a certain level of independence and problem-solving capability. If a problem came up, there wouldn't be anyone to ask for help. I eventually just refused to ask for help. I'd somehow developed the idea that asking for help was a sign of incapability or even weakness. This autonomy eventually went on to become part of who I am now, but I can tell you personally that this rigid independence has two sides. On one side, it's a good thing. It's definitely helped me become someone who can get things done on my own. It's made me into a person who pulls his own weight or is willing to work independently when there's an option for pairs of groups. I don't really mind sitting out, and sometimes I prefer to work alone if I believe that another person will be unable to bring the efficiency or quality that I want. That sort of mentality brings me to the other side of the coin, where the self-reliance becomes something terrible. There's been times where I've tried to work alone, but was overwhelmed by the amount of additional work I had at the time. It's especially bad when I get stuck with a problem that I can't solve on my own, as I have to go out and spend time trying to find a solution. It's made me into a person who will silently struggle with a difficult problem, even if the answer is available if he just asks. This sort of failure to overcome obstacles that can easily be passed with help has often negatively affected my behavior. Many people are probably somewhat familiar with this experience, and that's why it's important to address the issue. There's a certain level of dependence on others that maximizes productivity, be it academically, socially, or emotionally. But an individual should not be afraid to occasionally lean on others when he or she is unable to stand alone. Humans are social creatures, and strong bonds with others are important for survival. By the same token, an individual should not depend too much on others, as other people can let him or her down. A system built upon a foundation with uncontrollable, unpredictable variables is a system that cannot stand on its own. If the foundation is suddenly altered, damaged, or removed without warning, the entire system could collapse. However, a system built upon a controllable, monitorable foundation can function on its own. Any instability is quickly detected, and the system can temporarily transfer part of its burden to another until the foundation is repaired and stabilized. If there is no other system to help carry the load, the original may fail and collapse, just like the system whose foundation was just removed. The harmony between independence and dependence is crucial for anyone. It allows that human to stay strong and individual, but capable of carrying on through difficult times with the help of others. The perfect balance is there, but it is up to the individual to find it. I forgot to go through the slides, but it's like the defense against the system foundation.